Greetings, everyone. The game Ted's been waiting for finally got released.
My dick! My dick!
Is that what it's called? Well, I've been really
No,
misled.
Pikmin 3.
Ted's Dick. Released on August what? 3rd? No,
Third.
4th.
Third,
Something like that.
August,
First week August. Yeah.
depending on whether you went to that GameStop thing and got the digital thing.
What was that? Yeah,
It was just a demo for the game, and
If you pre-ordered it, if you pre-ordered the digital copy, you got to access it a day early. Not that anyone cared.
yeah, I have a disc though, so I waited the extra 24 hours. After 9 years, you know, one more day isn't gonna kill me.
I
One more day, Ted. Is Mephisto going to take away your Pikmin 3 if you don't agree?
Oh, don't you even joke about that.
Would you give up your potential future marriage to get a Pikmin 3?
What marriage?
I said potential.
Oh, I don't think that's very likely, so sure.
Heard him. Anyway, yeah, I bought a digital. I'm pretty much keeping all of my Wii U titles digital only, so that they stay in my Wii U. I don't have to lend it to anybody, and they potentially get lost in the void, where I'll never see them again. I've learned many lessons doing that. So yeah, I did buy the game.
Or you could just do what I do, John, and just not lend people anything.
Well, I try to be a nice guy. You know, it's just that sometimes people aren't nice to me back.
Just be careful about keeping those your Wii U in those files, because if your Wii U dies and those files are still on it, you'll have to buy them again. They don't say they save to your system and not to an account.
Yeah, I've heard about that, but I've generally been doing a good job. Well, see, the plus thing about digital downloads though is that you don't have to use a disc reader. You know, it's all digital files inside a hard drive, so you don't have to worry about your system producing any noise and shit like that, which is always a plus for me. And it's just something I've been meaning to experiment with because, you know, we're living in a day and age where everything will soon become digitized.
In the future.
You know, physical discs will be a thing of the past in about 50 years. And I figured, why not let the Wii U be the first system I own that every game I have is digital?
Besides Smash.
Except for Smash, which is the general principle of the thing, and Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing Transformed.
Well, you could buy Smash twice, once so you have the box for your collection, and then just play the digital version.
Well, what's going to happen is that I'm actually going to buy the digital version the midnight it comes out, and then I'll buy the physical release.
But you're actually buying the game twice. I was joking.
Well, no, I'm not buying. If I'm going to buy the game twice, I'm not doing it simultaneously. It's $120. You know,
well, it's still $120 if you buy it later.
Because Nintendo never lowers their prices.
You can still buy Brawl for $50 in most stores.
Yeah, but I can also, you know, I have no problem buying games used, to be perfectly honest. And if it means like, because I want Smash Brothers. By the way, this is a Pikmin 3 impressions video. I want Smash Brothers the minute it comes out, so I can get the jump on that. And then I do.
Depends. Knowing my internet speed, I could drive to the store and come back at a midnight release faster than I could download. But
very true. And it is tempting to go to another midnight release for Smash Brothers since I had a really good time with the Brawl one. But anyway, Pikmin 3. It's finally out. The time is finally. It's been out in Japan for almost 2
weeks.
2 weeks.
I think it came out in July. Hold on, let me do a quick search. Pikmin 3 is a direct sequel. Okay, it came out in July 13th, and came out like a week ago in Europe. So you lucky European bastards got it before we did.
Europeans got everything last.
Now we're getting everything last. Australia already got Mario and Luigi Dream Team.
Yeah. It's weird.
Really weird.
But yeah, Pikmin 3, best Pikmin game on the Wii U.
Critics agree.
It also, indeed, does have Pikmin in it. It is also for Nintendo consoles.
Developed by me.
So yeah, we all actually purchased the game. This is actually the very first Pikmin game I ever played. Because before then, the only experience I had was the commentary we did for Pikmin 1.
Don't you own the Pikmin 1 disc, though?
I have Pikmin 1, yeah, I do own it, but I never actually played it. Because I figured one day I'll play it, but not now. So unfortunately, Pikmin 3 came out at that time, and
well, so far, to be perfectly honest, you don't need to play 1 and 2 because 3 is so much better than both of those.
Yeah, so 3 makes 1. I'm sure that if I went back to it, I'd still enjoy Pikmin 1, but it's definitely very archaic compared to
It
3
just
now.
fixes a lot of the more obvious problems Pikmin 1 and 2 had.
Well, for the first part, first off, they took out everything about Pikmin 2 that I hated. Like, dungeons, gone. Thank you. I didn't hate purple and white Pikmin, but they really were kind of broken. So I'm glad that they were just sort of put into the mission mode. Because they're like...
they're not story-based whatsoever.
No, because really, purple Pikmin were the only things you ever needed for fighting any enemy that wasn't, like, underwater or covered in fire, you know? And even then, you could probably kill them with purple Pikmin. You just have to deal with, like, whistling them a whole bunch.
Before we continue on, should we have maybe a spoiler warning? Just in case?
Well, you guys haven't beaten the game, so I don't
yeah,
really...
Spoiler. Well, we can do spoiler warning just to be sure.
Yeah.
If you mention
At
anything.
this point in time of this recording, I've played a bit of the game. I'm about, according to my file, I'm about on day 10.
Day 10.
And,
Day 10? I'm on day
Day
8
10.
and I've already beaten the second boss.
Oh, well,
I'm booking it.
I went a little... I mentioned before we started this conversation that I was a bit sidetracked when it came to collecting fruit in the second area of the world. I think it was a tropical place, where you really can't do anything without water Pikmin. And,
water or flying Pikmin at the very
water or
least.
flying Pikmin, but I managed to maneuver my way past a few walls here and there to get some fruit early, because there's this one section in the tropical place where you have to throw one of your captains up a hill, and you have to take care of this one enemy that chucks throwing rocks at you. And rock Pikmin have no problem with that. You have to maneuver your other Pikmin away from it though before they get crushed. And what happens is that you destroy it, and you're able to get the fruit. Now the problem is that you have to build this bridge, this really huge bridge to connect two areas together. And I'm not sure if I actually cheated the system or not, because what happens is that I threw my Pikmin up a certain wall, and then I had to maneuver the captains around it to whistle them. It took a bit to do, but I think the game wanted me to wait until I got water Pikmin before I was able to stuff, and I was able to get the grapes and the lemon and the whatever the other fruit was around that area early, but that took an entire day to do.
Well, one thing I do like about Pikmin 3 is that they point you in the direction where you need to go to progress with the plot. Like, they'll say the signal is coming from this area, and then there's like a little glowing thing on the map that tells you this is where your next plot objective is. But nothing's stopping you from just fucking around.
It's the prime method of progression.
And that's what for 2 days I just fucked around looking for fruit that I can collect, because generally I hate having a day where I don't collect any fruit, even though sometimes I feel it's unavoidable. Because what happens, what I've done about 5 to 6 times as of this recording session is that I experiment with the level, see what's where, how to deal with this, and then I restart the day.
Well,
So
the game expects you to do that to some extent, or at least the game's designed so that you're allowed to do that, though.
Yeah.
Because I can't remember how many times I did that for bosses, where it's just like, oh, I lost 30 Pikmin. Restart. Okay, good. I only lost 5. That's acceptable.
I'm very grateful for that restart feature, because if it didn't have it, I'm not sure if I'd be enjoying the game as much.
Well, also,
then again, I'm not as big as a multitasker as you are.
I'm not either. I like to just kind of explore and take my time with things. So
I got better at it as the game went on. Like I kept my basically once you get 3 people, it becomes a lot easier to multitask. But basically, what I do is I send one person off to go to a wall that needs to be taken down, and then while they're doing that, I'd send the other 2 to do random things. But I didn't do it so much during my first playthrough because I didn't know where anything was. So it's harder.
It's easier to do that once you know where things are, so you can plan routes and such.
Yeah, the first time I didn't really multitask at all, unless it was exactly what Ted was referring to. I have my set of red Pikmin destroying a wall. I have rock Pikmin breaking some crystal blockades, and that's generally how it worked. But I will say though, for my first Pikmin experience, this is actually a pretty good game. I was I thanks to the commentary we did with Pikmin 1, I was able to get a general idea of what to expect and how to progress with things like that. But even then, the game does a really good job of teaching you the mechanics without, I don't want to say forcing it down your throat.
It does a little bit at
It
first.
doesn't railroad you completely.
Well, you kind of need a sort of a more extensive tutorial than something like a Mega Man or a Mario game, because the mechanics are inherently a lot more complex than something like that. So you really do need to have that sort of beginning teaching section, but thankfully they don't rush you during those first few days.
It's not obnoxious. If I can credit for one thing, it's not. It's not something that hinders more than helps. Because I certainly appreciated it because never really played a Pikmin game before this. Gameplay styles. How do you guys? I use the Wiimote and the nunchuck.
I'm using the gamepad.
I'm using both.
Well, with the Wiimote nunchuck gamepad, you use the gamepad to look at the map. You said you have it on your lap.
Yeah, basically you use the Wiimote and the nunchuck because that makes moving and aiming at the same time really smooth. And then you just keep the gamepad on your map because even if you're using the Wiimote and nunchuck combo, you can still access the map and the Go Here features. So if you just keep it on your map and you tap it every once in a while when you need to check where things are, it's very convenient, and it might sound a little bit cumbersome to be switching between 3 different controllers, but it's not as bad as it might seem.
No. I'm generally doing the same way. Here, question though, the Wiimote controls, are these the exact same controls as the new playstyle Pikmin 1 and 2?
Yes. And I went back to Pikmin 1 just for a little bit of a comparison. Playing with the GameCube controller feels really stiff now. So if you're going to play Pikmin 1 and 2, I actually recommend getting the Wii versions if you can find them.
Yeah, because I started the game with the gamepad. Because I generally like to go controller first before having to switch back to the Wiimotes. And I ended up not liking how you had to maneuver the whistle with the analog stick and all that jazz. I actually find it much easier to just point where I want to use the whistle at.
Wait, you have to use the right analog stick to move the whistle in this?
No, I'm just controlling it like a GameCube game.
Okay, well, because in the original games you couldn't move, the whistle just pointed right in front of wherever you were.
You can maneuver. You can
move it with the camera, and that changes where the whistle is. Yes, but.
But I wasn't generally a fan of that, and I ended up switching to the Wiimote, and I ended up falling in love with it that way because it's just much easier for me.
Well, controlling the game is really smooth with the Wiimote because whenever you point at something, it'll glow blue, so you know that you're pointing at it. And I love the lock-on feature. This is how I want Zelda's Z-targeting to work, actually.
Is this new for the Pikmin?
Yeah, you couldn't lock onto stuff before, which generally didn't really matter because it was pretty easy to just aim at stuff and hit them. But it makes maneuvering out of the way a little bit easier with stuff like the dodge roll and the swarming feature.
Yeah. I don't think they were very clear on that, though, because I didn't know you can Z-target until you guys told me at this call. Because I was asking whether or not you can Zerg rush things because I thought it was a little tiresome to constantly hit the A button to throw Pikmin.
Well, I think they say something about that in the one of the data logs at some point.
You can also just dismiss them near an enemy and they'll start attacking.
That's a little bit more frantic though, because if you have 3 or 4 different types of Pikmin with them, only some of them might end up far enough away that they'll just sort of be sitting ducks when the thing turns around and starts attacking you.
Mm-hmm.
The only real issues I've had so far, and I apologize, this is something that's been in the first series, is that when I have a large group of Pikmin with me and let's say I'm done for the day,
yeah,
and I want to rendezvous back at the Onion, Pikmin end up just staying behind for no apparent reason whatsoever.
Oh, they get caught
lazy.
They'll get stuck on something or.
That's just. That happens. That's just a problem the series has always had, and it's better. I will say that it is better in this game than other games because the game tells you exactly how many Pikmin are lost, what types of Pikmin are lost, and if you look on the gamepad at the end of the day,
you can find where they are.
Yeah, but they'll also be blinking, so it's not like they get lost as easily. So, well, yeah, they do still get stuck on things. They at least try to make it as easy for you to round them up as possible.
Yeah. I've lost about like 15, 20 Pikmin doing that.
But
And,
through Sunset?
through just them getting stranded, like from
Oh.
the main group. Like I'm done for the day. I want to head back to the Onion, and then suddenly I'm missing like 5 Pikmin. I was like, oh, what the fuck? What happened?
Well, at that point, that's when I used the Go Here feature. Like, I split up the 2 teams. I have one of the teams head all the other Pikmin back to the Onion, and then take the other one and just start looking for them. Although, if you use the Go Here feature in the map, you can send 3 different teams to look for stranded Pikmin at different ends of the map, so it's not like you have to run back and forth across the entire place like in the first Pikmin game. Because
No, I'm sorry. What were you saying?
Because in the first Pikmin game, if you're like in the Onion and there are 2 Pikmin stranded near Sunset, one on like the far left of the map and one's on the far right, you pretty much have to pick which one you want to save.
I will say, for my first experience, I felt really shitty when I realized I left the Pikmin behind.
Oh, I
over.
hate Death by Sunset.
And now I don't care.
No, you monster!
They are my
to be honest,
tools.
I did become a little apathetic after a while.
Well, if it's just like one Reddit stranded out there, fuck if I care.
Well,
No, I think it's worse when it's just one because I could have saved that one.
you want to know what the worst thing is? Is that when I was playing the game, I was like this close to one thing that a habit that I have just in general is that I'll use my left hand to scratch like my nose or my hair if I'm itching. So at the very end of the day, like right close to sunset, I do that right at the end of the countdown, and I dismissed all of my Pikmin right before the end of sunset. So I lost like 30 Pikmin to sunset just due to that mistake, and I had to restart the whole day. No.
Yeah, if I'm on the verge of losing a lot of Pikmin because I can't get to the Onion on time, I generally restart the day.
Well, as long as they're in your group, they won't disappear.
Yeah. In your group or near the Onion. Thank you, game, for making it clear where Pikmin are safe and where they aren't, because there's like a little circle around the Onion now.
The other games didn't have that?
No, it was... I didn't really trust the other games for where they safe, because they say if they're near the Onion or the ship, they'll be safe, but as long as they weren't directly underneath the ship or the Onion, I never knew where the spots were, because they never were really clear. Yeah. So that little circle really does just... It doesn't really add a whole lot, but at least it makes it clear what's safe and what's not.
But what's the difference from this one standing point right there and the other one 2 feet over?
I don't know, because if I'm like 2 feet away from the Pikmin, even if they're idle, I should be able to whistle them. Like, is the extra 3 seconds really going to make that much of a difference? Oh, wait, nocturnal predators. Never mind. Though, of course, I don't have enough time to whistle all those Pikmin, but I have enough time to listen to the ding, 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 and, like, dramatically walk to the ship.
There's one thing I wanted to ask you guys, because I didn't, at the time of this recording, I've only really beaten the first boss, because I'm just about to rescue the third captain.
Yeah.
And the first boss, I forgot its name already.
The Armored Modat, I think it's called.
Whatever it was. I didn't have enough time to drag its heavy ass back to the ship.
Oh, no, it stays.
It stays there.
Yeah, normal corpses won't, but boss corpses stay behind. So...
No, because what happened was that I beat the boss, and I was in the process of dragging its heavy ass back to the ship. I was able to get the cellular device back, as well as the fruit, but I didn't have enough time to bring him back. And when I went back to the planet, he was gone.
Well, did you go back to the...
No, I didn't.
Well,
Somebody moved the corpse back to its starting position?
No, but when did you go back to the...
Did you go back to that area immediately after you killed him?
Yeah. Or did you...
Then he should still be there.
He wasn't.
Huh. Well, I mean,
maybe it has something to do with the bridge, because he was over the bridge when I left him, and then...
Well, did you check the original boss room?
No, I didn't check the original boss room.
Well, he might have teleported back. Normally the games are good about that, but it might have just been a weird coding thing.
Yeah, I might have... I didn't have enough time, because the process of me getting to him was I had to build that bridge before getting to him, and that took about a quarter of the day. And by the time I was finished with him, I only had a quarter of the day left. and I didn't have enough because even when you like send like 30 Pikmin to drag that thing, it takes for fucking ever. And I was just curious as to what you get for the ship.
Just lots of Pikmin sprouts.
That's what I figured.
It's just funny thing about this game is that it's a lot harder to grind for Pikmin in this one because there aren't any 10 or 20 pallets, and there's just in general a lot fewer enemies around because there's a bigger focus on puzzle solving in this one than combat, which Pikmin 2 loved fighting enemies for some reason. So they're basically the best way to grind for Pikmin seeds, but which is probably why they're designed to stay there after the end of a day, even if you didn't get it back in time.
Any enemies that have given you a particularly hard time as of this?
The final boss is a nightmare. Also, the fourth boss is... Wait, was that the fourth or the fifth boss? I can't really remember. I think it was the... Yeah, the fifth boss was pretty damn tough. Some of the Wait, hold on. First boss... I can never remember what order the bosses came in. Hold on, let me look them up. Some of the bosses are really hard, though.
I haven't really had any issues with enemies as of yet. Not much specifically bosses and just enemies in general.
No, none in particular. There seem to be a lot less of them this time around.
Yeah. Like, the only ones that really gave me a bit of an issue at first was the ones that had the armor in the front of their heads.
Oh,
the attack from behind.
Yeah, I don't remember what those guys' names are, though.
I don't remember what those are. I generally just like bomb rush them now with rock Pikmin. Or Rockman, as people are calling them now.
Okay, I've got a list of the bosses off. The third boss isn't really that hard, but if you want a tip for that one, ignore the data file that you'll find. One of the data files will say, use bomb rocks. Don't use bomb rocks. I can't, normally I'd lose like 10 or so Pikmin to him just fighting him normally. But the bomb rocks, if he hits the bomb rock Pikmin, the bomb rock will drop, and that bomb rock will kill more Pikmin than he ever will. So
does the bomb rock immediately detonate when it hits?
The bomb rock detonates after like 3 to 5 seconds, but you won't really see that Pikmin has died right away. So it'll blow up, and your entire squad will get blown up with it. So don't bring bomb.
Generally, if it's a bomb, I want to get out of the way anyway.
Yeah. So the third isn't that bad as long as you ignore the data file that is right next to it. Don't bring bomb rocks to that boss. Other than that, the fifth and final bosses are the hardest ones in the game.
Were bomb rocks in the second game?
Yeah.
Kinda. You couldn't pick them up and throw them, but they were obstacles in some of the dungeons. Although every Pikmin can use bomb rocks now, thank God.
Yeah, I noticed that when I read that data file, it's like all Pikmin could throw rocks. I was like, oh, so there's no longer just relegated to yellow Pikmin.
Well, that's how it was originally planned, but they needed something to make... They couldn't... From the very beginning of the series, they wanted yellow Pikmin to be electric and everybody to use bomb rocks, but I think they had to cut the yellow Pikmin's electric stuff for time, so they wanted to make yellow special, so that's why they were the only ones who could hold bomb rocks in the first game.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of... the game looks really nice. It's probably the best, graphically speaking.
This game makes me really fucking hungry for fruit. Like, every time I finish a day off and I get a close-up of a fruit, it depends on the fruit, obviously, but I got the grapes and I had the strawberry. I'm not even really a big fan of strawberries, and I wanted to munch on a strawberry after getting it. And I do love the names they come up with for the fruit, because it's obviously alien to them. Like a lemon. Do you read the profiles that Brittany makes for all the fruit? Because some of them are. No.
Oh well, if you look at the gamepad when all the fruit's coming in, if you tap each fruit, there'll be like a little paragraph written by Brittany about what she thinks about it, and some of them are really kind of funny. I actually think that this is probably the best written game out of all of them, because like there's not a whole lot of story, but there's definitely a lot of character there.
Yeah.
Well, that's because the characters actually interact with each other rather than.
Just a ship.
Louis, you dolt.
Louis.
You'll make a miss all that. Louis.
Well, it just
Louis, you dolt. I do love that ending cutscene of Pikmin 2 where it goes, Louis, you dolt. Wait, where is he?
It's just like at the beginning of each day, I'd find myself pressing the check-in button over and over and over again because I really wanted to read all of that dialogue that they. It's. This is basically where I want a Mario story to be, because it's funny and it's charming and there's stakes, but it's not like intrusive in any sort of way. And it's simple, which is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Just because a plot is simple doesn't mean that it has to be absent or unenjoyable. They could do something.
This game definitely does have a lot of a charm with its. It helps that the captains, actually have people to interact with, unlike Olimar, who was pretty much by himself. And in Pikmin 2, he had Louis.
Well, the first game you had lots of journal entries from Olimar, so that was enough for me. But in the second game, even though you have Olimar and Louis, the ship was the only one who talked in that game, and the ship was kind of an annoying jackass.
Yeah,
and
but
Louis was a raging psycho. So
Louis, you guys haven't seen Louis yet, but Louis is hilarious. He's such an asshole in this one.
well, Louis was an asshole in the second game too.
Yeah, he was, but you had to like hunt for the stuff that proved that Louis was an asshole in the first game, in the second game. In this game, he's just spoiler warning. Louis is a gigantic dick. You save him from a boss, and then he steals all of your food and runs away. The asshole.
Louis, you don't.
Which I actually like, because by the time I had rescued Louis, I had 30 extra days of supplies on hand, and when he steals them, you have none. So actually, the tension's back because you don't have your gigantic stockpile anymore. Like, how many extra juice containers do you guys have?
I just defeated the second boss, and I'm on day 9 or something, and I have about 12 extra days worth.
Yeah, you're fine.
As long as you don't dilly dally, you're pretty much fine.
how much is in a row?
10.
10. I have 13.
You have 13.
Yeah.
You're never really, except for the one time where Louis steals all of your fruit, you're never really in any danger of running low. Especially when he gives you all of your fruit back once you rescue him again, because at that point I had like a good 20 jars of fruit, and then he gave me my 30 back. So it was just like, you have 50 days of fruit left. Like, oh.
Generally, as long as you get a fruit per day, you're sold. You have no.
Yeah, it's basically as long as you don't dilly dally.
Yeah.
I do like this approach better than both 1 and 2, though.
Yeah, one was a bit too strict.
And 2 was way too lenient.
Yeah.
Because like in Pikmin,
there was no time limit at all in 2, wasn't there?
No,
No,
so you
there
could literally
wasn't.
you could literally just faff about all you wanted.
but the thing is that in Pikmin 2, the time whenever you went into the dungeon, time stopped
Stops.
for some reason, and you spent a good 70% of the game in there. You could beat Pikmin 2 in like 9 days if you know what you're doing. Maybe like 14 if you're going for 100%. So there was no real danger of, like, even if there was a time limit in Pikmin 2, there was never any danger of running out there. Which, I mean, I guess is good for some people if you don't like being rushed at all.
Well, again, I liked it better. I like this better. It's there to keep you moving, but it's not really obtrusive. As long as you just don't, as long as you
Majora's Mask.
yeah, as long as you don't fuck up, as long as you could just make progress, you'll be fine.
And even then, though, most of the time when you're like going off the track and like just searching, like if you go to areas out of order, most of the time you're doing that to get fruit anyway. So it's not like even wasting time is going to be like ticking down the clock in any sort of way.
Yeah.
And even then, if you fear you're in risk of not going anywhere, then you have
Go back a few days.
Yeah, you have the option to restart or go back a few days. Exactly. And I like that game because it's more accessible.
Yeah.
It gets more people to play it.
I feel like that's a trend in a lot of Nintendo games recently. They're focusing on making it a lot more accessible, which I think is good. Because if there's one thing that games don't need right now, it's like making it completely nobody but us can play them, because that's not good.
There's a difference between accessibility and making them too easy, though, Ted.
Yeah, I agree, but this isn't dumbing it down.
Yeah, this is just giving you more options.
Yeah,
This isn't making the game easier. It's just giving you more options.
And I also think there's a point where they try to make it accessible by cramming in a lot of fucking tutorials in one part, just so you understand.
Skyward Sword.
Yeah, of course I'm referring to Skyward Sword. To me that's trying to make it accessible the wrong way.
Well, here you get through all the tutorial stuff in like 2 in-game days. Like you can, I got. What day did you guys save Brittany on?
Second.
Uh, off the top of my head, I don't remember. I
Okay,
want to say
because
day 4.
day 4. Oh,
Second.
you really fucked around.
Yeah, well, because yeah, to me, like I said earlier, I really like to spend a majority of the day getting myself familiar with the map, where I can go, where I can't go, what to look forward to, and then I generally restart the day. But for that one, I didn't because I was still getting used to the mechanics. So I ended up lollygagging too much. I think I was able to bring a fruit with me at least, so I had that. But I didn't end up saving Brittany until
So what? Were you just walking by her cell? I'll get there in a minute.
Brittany, look at this. What do you think of that? Oh,
Am I the only one who knows?
If I can break through this crystal wall.
Am I the only one who knows their names are ABC?
No, it was Alpha,
Me, Charlie.
Alpha
ABC.
Bravo Charlie.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking more of the military.
But that it's obvious what they were getting at. That they were doing that.
So are we to assume there's just more people between Charlie and Olimar?
Well,
they're
Olimar and
different
Louis are well, Olimar and Louis are their names are based off Mario and Luigi because in Japan.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm talking more like if they're playing up the ABC motif.
There's themed naming. Well, actually, I don't know what they're if they make a Pikmin 4, because now that they've established that there's more worlds than just Hakatate, the premise for another Pikmin game could pretty much be anything. Well, obviously it involves throwing Pikmin to collect stuff, but like
Captain Olimar, Tomb Raider with Pikmin. Well, they do explain that's the only reason he's there. He's just there to get more treasure, just because.
Well, they're out of debt at this point, so.
Yeah, he's just doing that just to get money.
I do like that they're making fun of that, though. It's just like Olimar, they really love treasure to the point where they'll enslave a race of semi-sentient beings to labor for them for money.
Louis, you
dolt.
That's my favorite part of Pikmin 2.
Louis.
You know, where they're just where your Olimar gets back and they're telling him to get the money back. It's like, and take Louis, you dolt. And the president just over-exaggeratedly points at him.
I really want DLC for Pikmin 3 where you can play as Olimar, Louis, and the president. Because that would be, like, they already have models for Olimar and Louis, so, make one more for the president and just make them DLC. I'd love that.
Well, it's very possible. I mean, it's not just Pikmin 3, but every Wii U game nowadays, when you see the title screen, you look in the bottom right corner, it tells you what version of the game it is. And,
yeah.
Pikmin 3 is now at version 1.1.1. And when Mario U got the DLC, that number increased. So it's very possible, It's just that, DLC in Nintendo still doesn't really mix well to me, if only because they're so late into the game with that sort of shit.
Well, the same with HD. It's the same with because I admit Pikmin 3 looks really good, but when I'm playing The Last of Us, which honestly looks better on a system that came out in 2006, it's hard for me to be impressed.
Well, this is the first HD console I've really owned, and this is the first game this is really my first HD game.
Yeah, so you'll be impressed, but as someone who's had a PS3 since years and years ago, I'm used to stuff looking this good, so it doesn't impress me.
To be honest, though, I generally tend not to compare certain games at a certain point. Well, it depends on the art style, really.
Well, I understand that, but it's just one of those, Pikmin 3 looks really great, but it's just one of those, but we've already had HD games with all this sort of environmental stuff before.
Yeah.
Well, if you go back to play Pikmin 1 and then you go back to Pikmin 3, it's a really noticeable jump.
Well, obviously, that's a game from 2001 versus a game in 2013.
Well, I get your point, though. It's just like, we already know that the Wii U is running.
We already know what good graphics look like.
Still,
I think it's still special because it's Nintendo's. It's late, but they're finally getting there.
It's also a bit of a Pikmin 1 really pushed the GameCube as to what it could do. Whereas the Wii U, it looks nice, but we've seen it already.
The same way, I'm pretty sure in due time, the way Ted reacted to Pikmin 3's graphic update, if one day we ever, maybe one day see a new 3D Metroid game, I'll probably be in the same boat. Hell, when Smash Bros. Comes out, we're going to be drooling over how much better it looks over Brawl. and stuff like that. Even though technically these were achievable in 2005,
Yeah.
and but it doesn't matter at this point because it's Nintendo's turn. It's good to see them finally, bump up the graphical resolution of their consoles.
If there's one thing I could nitpick about, though, from the presentation standpoint, is the music. Like the individual.
What about the pop in pop out Pikmin when you throw them?
Where when you throw them, they'll just sort of
Pop out of existence from the from your
Yeah,
okay, that bothered you guys too.
Yeah.
Well, I just think it's funny more than like annoying or anything.
Well, it doesn't really affect anything, but it's one of those where they go.
It's just like you reach a Pikmin that's like 10 feet behind you. It's like, okay, if we had telekinesis, why couldn't we just left the fruit back to our ship to begin with? But the music, I like the individual tunes. Why couldn't they orchestrate this? That's basically my question. It's HD consoles. You're Nintendo. You have infinite money. Why can't you orchestrate
I don't think
this?
every game needs an orchestral soundtrack, to be honest.
Well, especially for a game like this where the atmosphere is supposed to be really serene, the music quality is that much better, like from a technical standpoint, from the first Pikmin game, It's just sort of distracting that in 2013 on a major HD console that we're still hearing synth tunes.
For Pikmin, to me, it's always just been kind of more of an ambience thing more than anything, so it doesn't bother me that much.
It doesn't bother me that much, but if I had to nitpick, that's the nitpick that I would make. It's just like, can't we? I made the same nitpick with New Super Mario Brothers, though. It's just like, come on, it's 2013. I'd really like live music instead of a MIDI file.
I really think it depends on the type of game. It's like for Zelda,
you need the.
Yeah, for Zelda, you expect that. Mario, I really didn't expect Galaxy to go full orchestral, but it ended up really working for them.
Something like Metroid, probably not, because that needs to be more techno.
I would appreciate more of a techno and atmospheric standard when it came to Metroid. Not to Other M's extent, because Other M won 2 atmospheric.
Other M barely had music.
Well, to Other M's credit, when it did have noticeable music, it was pretty good. But other than that, though, I think it depends on a certain game. Like, when I'm not expecting orchestral, I was actually perfectly fine with the composition of the music. But then again, I haven't exactly played much of the game yet.
Tropical Wilds and the final boss themes are the only two songs that stick in my head. Oh well, the Arctic Tundra.
Arctic Tundra was pretty good.
Well, the Arctic Tundra theme is a remix of Pikmin 2 music.
Right.
So
the end of the day music is the exact same as Pikmin 1, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same exact file, but it's the same.
No, not the wrap-up music. I'm talking about the Captain's.
Oh yeah, that's
the
the
same
same music too.
Yeah.
I can't.
Okay, I thought it sounded familiar. And
it's a better arrangement though, at the very least.
Yeah. Was the music also done by Totaka again?
No, I don't think it was. Hold on.
I was about to say, I'm looking for Totaka's song hidden somewhere.
Pikmin. Okay, hold on. The composer of both. Hold on. Let's see. The composer for both. I can't remember who the Pikmin 3 composer is.
Well, if not, the Totaka song's not hidden somewhere.
Composer is Asuka Hayazaki, Asuko Asashi, and Hajime Wakai.
Oh,
okay.
So not Totaka.
So not Totaka.
I think, wait, Hajime Wakai. Okay, one of the guys who did Pikmin 1 and 2's music is still there, though. Because Hajime Wakai did the music for Pikmin 1 and 2.
I see. Hence the callbacks.
There's
you know what's the weirdest thing about this game for me, though, is
what?
I turned my Wii U on.
Actually,
that was so weird for me when I was putting it. I'm like, wait, I just realized I'm using this thing for something.
I was looking at my friend's list, and it said Ryan Malice has not used his Wii U in over a month, and I was just like, oh, they don't even measure how long you haven't had this thing on.
Yeah, I actually went out of my way to buy a brand new Wiimote for this game. I bought a black Wiimote with the Wii Motion Plus built in. Nintendo, that's how it should have been in the first fucking place, just saying. And the black nunchuck. And the Wiimote Plus now come with the Wii condoms.
Did you
Pre-installed.
take that off?
No, I'm actually leaving it on because it's not as they refined the design a bit. It's not as bulky as it used to be. Thank fucking
It
God.
made the I don't know. For me, it made the Wii condoms that I've seen made the controller way too top heavy.
Yeah, that was my major criticism with the first design. The new design is definitely a hell of a lot slimmer, and the material is not as rubbery as it used to be. So it's actually fairly comfortable in the hands. I'm gonna leave it on.
So you're not gonna get any Wii STDs.
I know I'm not gonna get any Wii STDs. Fingerprints are still an issue though. Well, that's because it's a black Wiimote and it's glossy and shit like that. But I like it. I'm gonna give this a shot with Skyward Sword 6 years from now. And yeah, but I'm technically I'm really using this right now for a.
Me, I'm never going back to Skyward Sword again.
Then I will handle it for the channel.
That's the reason I'm doing Twilight Princess.
So you don't have to do Skyward Sword.
Yes. I'd rather play through Twilight Princess again than Skyward Sword.
To be honest, I would too. But I can't say that completely because I haven't beaten Skyward Sword yet. So I know.
So many wrong things about that game. Unclean, unclean.
We'll get to it eventually.
Link, you dolt.
Any or besides any glaring issues you guys have come across?
Not really. If you like,
Just that it's basically it's another Pikmin game. There's nothing inherently wrong with that. It's just that okay, it's another Pikmin game.
my only real complaint is that in terms of content, there is less than Pikmin 2 in Pikmin 3. Like even the mission mode, there's only like 6 missions per type, and you can get through the game like in 8 hours if you just sort of plow through it. Granted, what is here is done really well, but I want more.
It's another Pikmin game. It's also kind of the bit I've been reading for reviews that the game's really good. It plays just fine. It's good to have Pikmin back, but it's just another Pikmin game more or less.
It's a prettier Pikmin.
Yeah.
Yeah. And granted, I've been waiting for this prettier Pikmin for like 9 years, so I love it. But if you
what happened? Like why the
okay, well, Miyamoto wanted
besides the obvious answer that it's Nintendo, it's what they do. Like, what happened?
Basically, Miyamoto was making Pikmin, and then by the time Miyamoto takes for fucking ever to make anything, and by the time
Because
that
he just won't let anything go.
yeah, and by the time that like Pikmin was started development in like 2008, 2009, and by the time they were making any decent progress on it, they had Wii U stuff, and I guess they just really wanted something to push the HD graphics for the thing. So I guess that
Pikmin 3 was the best candidate for that.
yeah, and I guess that
And it was probably the project furthest along at the time.
Yeah, but the thing is that if you they probably had enough done on it for the Wii that when they swapped to Wii U, they probably had to scrap tons of stuff and start all the way over again. Which I would guess is probably why the game is so small in general, is because they had to swap stuff mid-development and they just couldn't make it more.
You think they have anything left on the cutting room floor that would be potential DLC?
Potentially. I could see a couple areas being DLC.
Like, I'd imagine mission mode stages would probably be more likely than like story mode areas. Although
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't mind getting like a 6th or 7th story mode area for DLC.
What I would like to see though, if they do make a Pikmin 4, is okay. We've done the whole environmental stuff sometime. We've already established this is Earth more or less. Let's get some funky environments.
Like a city environment, I think.
Like a city environment or a house or
Fight a human. I want to fight a human.
Attack on Titan. Olimar gets here and zips around it.
That'd be interesting.
Like, cause yeah, like
versus a cat.
Pikmin. Even that would be really cool because
like I said, just do some. We've established it's Earth. Do some fun do some wild out there areas just because.
like I'd love to see like inside a house or because
Or like just like a city street or something or
sewer level.
no, not a sewer level, or like a kid's playground or something.
Yeah, Pikmin 2 really only pushed the human-made aspect for cameos and product placement. I'd love to see them like more urban areas. I think would be cool.
Yeah, I mean the environments look nice, but you can only do so much with outside.
Yeah.
So you guys will more of different locales for the next game, or DLC in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to change things up and see what you can do with it.
Yeah.
Though since I now have my Pikmin 3, I'd like not to go another 9 years before Pikmin 4, but Nintendo can give it a break.
That's zero.
Let's see. To me, let me ask you guys: what is the boundary for you guys between sequels?
I think 5 years
It depends.
is.
Yeah, 5. I would say I'm generally of the one per console guy.
One per console, maybe two if you have ideas for two.
Yeah.
But definitely, like 10 is ridiculous. Like
anything 8 and over is just pushing it too far.
Yeah, I think my
I mean, it's one thing if you made a new franchise that flops. So okay, we're not going to do that anymore. That's one thing, but for established franchises going more than like 8, like, well, you clearly don't care anymore.
My boundary is generally around 3 and 4. Because I honestly don't see why the hell it would take you 6+ years to make a sequel to something that was.
Well, it depends on the franchise as well.
Very true. Very true.
Because certain games take longer to make than others.
And stuff like Pikmin is obviously not going to. Well, Pikmin might push Wii U consoles because it's basically the first game that's worth playing on the thing, to me anyway.
That's
but
not Mario. That's not Mario.
It's not Mario Zelda, that Pokemon that will push consoles. So making these games games like these aren't obviously going to be a priority because Pikmin 3 only exists because Miyamoto wanted to make it.
Yeah. I am curious though because Pikmin 3 did cause a lot of Wii U's to be sold in Japan, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's also it's also probably because it's also selling better than the other two Pikmin games, probably again because it's the only fucking thing on the system.
I see this as a good turning around point for the Wii U because now, like this fall and holiday, there's a lot of promising looking games coming out for the thing.
Legends, Mario.
I still think Wonderful 101 is probably going to be pretty good. So this is. I think that this is probably the point where the thing's going to start picking up steam. About time, but
it took a little. Yeah, it took a little too fucking long, but
still better late than.
Yeah, I think this is. Optimistically speaking, this should be the beginning of the Wii U's pickup, and really hope it just gets better from here. I mean, Ted finally got the title he was waiting for, and I'm actually glad I bought this on impulse because I am having a good time here.
It's easily my favorite Pikmin game so far.
I think it beats out Pikmin 1 for me. It's just better.
Yeah, definitely. And even though I'm not technically finished the game yet, I can agree. But then again, I only have the commentary on Pikmin 1 to really judge.
It's the best Pikmin game you've played.
Yeah, it's the best Pikmin game I played on the Wii U.
But technically, you can play the entire series on the Wii U with the Wii Play Control stuff.
I'm gonna look for the new Play Control for Pikmin 1 and 2 because I really do like the Wii controls for Pikmin 3.
Well, I think you'll still enjoy Pikmin 1, 2, not so much.
2, well, some people like 2 better.
I like the ideas it had. I just don't think it was implemented all that well.
Yeah.
Well, which version of Pikmin 2 do you own, Ted?
I used to own the GameCube version, but that disc got scratched to the point where it wouldn't load anymore. Stupid little brothers. The only working copy of it that I have is the new Play Control
I guess we know which one you're playing for the channel then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which you'll be getting to relatively soon now that we've...
I really want to do Pikmin 3 first because
I think you should record 3 while you're still high.
Yeah, while you know it, and just save the footage and then go record 2.
Save the footage until we get to Pikmin 2, because I don't think we should ignore 2.
Oh.
Because we have... Well, it's part of the story. We have.
Can I do the first ending instead?
Fine.
What's the first ending?
The first ending you can get the first ending in like 5 in-game days, and there's to do after that. So you can. If I got the first ending, I'd pretty much be ignoring half the content.
Can I just show you? Can you at least just show off the water wraith?
Do I have to?
Yes.
Oh man.
You didn't show off the smoky prog last time. I was disappointed.
Fucking water wraith, man.
You need to show at least one optional super boss.
Ugh. Well, it's not optional if you want 100%.
Well, nothing's
at least
optional
you get something. Well, I'll give the water wraith credit. You at least get something for beating it. Smoky prog, you basically you'll lose enough Pikmin to the
Get
point
back
where that
to
100
Pikmin you
Pikmin,
lost.
yeah, that 100 Pikmin egg basically just brings you back to where you were to begin with.
So yeah, ultimately I'm enjoying the game, but it's not a killer app in any way. It's just
Well,
a
for
good
me,
game.
basically,
Well, for
what
you,
I'd
because you're a
say
Pikmin
is
nut.
that if once you buy a Wii U, get Pikmin 3. But unless if you're a big Pikmin fan like I am, I guess I'd have to say buy Pikmin 3. But if you're gonna wait for something else to also play on the thing, I won't blame you for that.
I will
I
say
guess.
though, a Pikmin fan does enjoy this.
Okay.
Because I'm not. I'm not a Pikmin fan.
This
And
is a good jumping on point.
I
Definitely.
completely agree. I'm not a Pikmin fan. Take it from me as a guy who doesn't play Pikmin at all besides this game, and I like what I'm playing here. And because of that, I'm going to look for the new playstyle controls of Pikmin 1 and 2, and I'm going to play those as soon as I'm done playing Pikmin 3, 6 years from now. And but yeah, I can recommend this to a newbie, definitely. So go get it.
If you're one of the few people who actually owns a Wii U.
Yes. And the dust inside the Wii U didn't kill the system already.
Yeah. You're not using it as an expensive paperweight.
Yeah. Very expensive paperweight.
Very expensive.
Not as expensive as the Xbox One paperweight's gonna be.
Oh, I'll
So,
just use my Wii U paperweight instead.
So wait, all right. So Pikmin 3 is out. That's a major console release that we're looking forward to. What's the next one? Is it
Rayman Legends. Legends, then Legends.
September,
In
isn't it?
3D World.
Legends 3D World.
And that's about it until
Does
spring.
3D World come out before Sonic Lost World?
We
Not
don't
sure.
really know when Sonic Lost
No,
World.
Sonic Lost World comes out October 22nd.
Yeah.
Okay, no, 3D World's November
Yeah.
for maximum
Holidays.
holiday sales.
So we're pretty much gonna have another impressions video when Legends comes out.
Well,
Maybe.
Because I'm getting that day one too because I was
Same.
actually before that.
Legends. That delay still pisses me off.
Well, we're about a month away now, right?
Yeah. Legends
September
is almost.
12th, I think.
I think it was. I remember it was almost exactly. What's it called? After Pikmin 3, if I remember correctly. I know it's like the same week as GTA 5, though. So. Oh yeah. September 3rd, almost exactly 1 month after Pikmin 3.
Nice.
Okay, so safe to assume that's going to be our next impressions, since we were all looking forward to that one. We were going to do one for The Last of Us, but we decided because Ryan figured.
It's very story based, and I already recorded it. Might as well save it for the commentary.
So wait for a commentary before we get to that. We'll be getting to that after we take a break. Pretty backlogged at this point. Yeah, but I'm very glad that the Wii U is finally getting the games out.
A game, you mean?
A game. Well, it's coming, you know.
Because I really don't count New Mario U and Nintendo Land as real games.
They're
The
tech
Wii U-
demos.
the
Yeah, they're
Wii U
tech
is going-
demos.
The Wii U is going through that starvation period that almost every fucking
No,
console.
well, it's
Never
been,
buy
it's,
a game console at launch is basically the story
well,
here.
it's also been one of those. It was particularly noticeable with the Wii U.
Well, I also feel like the Wii U did over a few times because of stuff like that, especially
yeah, I mean,
the.
at least with the GameCube, the Xbox, PS2, or something, you at least had a few things to play. Because on GameCube, you had Smash Brothers, you had Pikmin. It had a drought, yes, but at least you had a few games from launch to play.
The games that you could play happen to be really fucking awesome games.
Yeah, PlayStation 2 had like Jak and Daxter, Tekken Tag. You at least had a few things to play. The Wii U just had nothing.
That fucking
Besides
Rayman
Mario.
Legends delay just still hurts me in the gut.
Yeah, I think what hurt the Wii U the most is the delays. The fact that it's actively not getting a lot of third-party support.
Like even Pikmin 3, I think was originally intended to be a launch title, or like at least not a launch title, like a 2012 holiday release, but that got delayed.
Yeah, it was.
Rayman Legends
It was supposed to come out in March, wasn't it?
Yeah, it
Well,
kept.
the Pikmin problem was just that Miyamoto can't fucking let anything go.
He was holding onto the Pikmin, and he was surrounded by a circle of developers. It's like, get away!
He just doesn't know when to fucking finish anything.
But Ryan, a bad game is always bad, but a late game is eventually good.
Not if you don't ever fucking release it.
Which, yeah, I was gonna say, with that logic, F-Zero GX2 will be the best fucking racing game ever.
Why do you taunt me, John?
Because it's very easy to do. Not that you can't taunt me with Metroid and shit like that. I'm
At least
pretty much
you've gotten the game in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
And not even 10, 5. Other M's. Oh,
Other
Other
M's
M's like 3
Other M was
years old
2007.
now, right?
Yeah, Other M's. Okay, it's only been 3 years since Other M came out. Fuck me.
Oh, quit your whining.
No, I'm surprised how it's already been 3 years since Other M came out. It's weird. I didn't really think
Well,
about
I don't
that.
have any. Well, now that this game's Pikmin 3's out, I don't have any series to bitch about anymore about game releases.
Yeah, you're also getting your Phoenix Wright Cross Professor Layton.
Oh
Next
man,
year.
you should have seen my dick when that I saw that objection bubble. It was rock hard. That game announcement made my dick rock hard.
One day, Ryan, one day. Then we find out that Miyamoto's new IP that he's teasing is actually another racing game.
That involves driving around walls and
Like,
it
main
starts
character-
it doesn't matter how it doesn't matter how good Mario Kart 8's gonna be. I'm still gonna be bitter about
And
that.
it starts Formula One racer Admiral Eagle.
Original character, do not steal.
And his counterpart Knight Gordon.
Like,
Yeah, so that was Pikmin 3 and other such things video.
so Ted, get to it. Record
Yep.
the game.
Yeah.
Record Pikmin 2 first.
Yeah.
No. Record Pikmin 3 and then put it in the back burner and then record Pikmin.
Well, at that point, I might as well just record 2 first and then.
Well, no, since you know 3 you're gonna know 3 a lot better. Just go ahead and record it. But
Well, I'm sure. Well, I'm already on my second playthrough, so I'm sure I'll do a couple more.
Well, wait
in
until
between that.
your hot pod gets here so you can use the component method of capturing Wii games. It looks better.
Yeah. Well, I haven't bought it yet, so it still needs.
Well, then wait until you get the hot pod.
Well, I'm waiting for Lewis to get his. So if his tests work out well, I'm just gonna get the same type he'll get.
Yeah.
So.
The Wii games actually end up looking pretty good when using the hot pod and not splitting the signal up with the Dazzle.
So I guess are we actually ending this now?
sure.
Okay.
Louie,
I
you
was waiting.
dolt.
I knew you were gonna fucking end it.